So Berkshire Hathaway, aka Warren Buffett, had a shareholder meeting and they talked about something very interesting, which is something that I'm all in and I'm pretty sure what you guys are heavily invested in too, which was something about self-driving vehicles, aka Tesla. He dropped some very interesting things. I think you guys can read my board right here, RIP Insurance. Doesn't matter how they look at it. I think that's what's going to happen, but it's pretty interesting what he has said. And at the end of it, I'm thinking Tesla pretty much wins. I just don't see it any other way. Call me biased, whatever you want to call it, but I'm just looking at it, what Tesla can offer and what they have already. And in terms of insurance, they already have their own insurance. Anyways, let's get down to it. Smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get down to it.
Autonomous vehicles are already driving across roads in American cities with no driver involvement. How do Warren and Ajit think about any disruption risk from these autonomous vehicles to Geico's auto insurance business, which is built around understanding and underwriting human drivers? Wouldn't what we call auto insurance today just become product liability for autonomous vehicles and autonomous software companies?
Let me answer that question before Warren does, and it's a very interesting question. But in my opinion, auto insurance is going away. There's no doubt about it when autonomous cars are everywhere. There will literally be nothing really to insure as accidents will become extremely rare or extinct. A lot of insurance companies will go bankrupt, and I mean it. I 100% believe this. The crazy part is that Elon has said that 99% of the robotaxi market will be owned by Tesla. Now, of course, some of you guys will say that's not possible. Maybe, maybe not. And I'll get to that later on in this video. But let's say they do end up owning 99% of it. Tesla already has their own insurance. And I'm pretty sure that they can provide product liability to their operators if they choose to. I honestly don't know how these insurance companies will be around, and I'm not sure how Geico can compete with that. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I really am. I don't know. Maybe this is a rule or a law that has to be, you have to get another insurance company to have a product liability on you. I don't know. Maybe that's what I'm missing. Comment down below. Maybe I am missing something here.
Well, Ajit.
Yeah, there's no question that insurance for automobiles is going to change dramatically once self-driving cars become a reality. The big change that we will see is what you identified. Most of the insurance that is sold and bought revolves around operator errors and how often they happen, how severe they are, and therefore what premium we ought to charge. To the extent these new self-driving cars are more safe and are involved in fewer accidents, that insurance will be less required. Instead, it'll be substituted by, as you mentioned, product liability. So we at Geico and elsewhere are certainly trying to get ready for that switch, where we move from providing insurance for operator errors and be more ready to provide protection for product errors and omissions in the construction of these automobiles.
So for those of you guys that don't know who Ajit is, he's an Indian American executive who is the vice chairman of insurance operations for Berkshire Hathaway. So that is the guy who is answering this question, which is a sheesh moment. But this is what he said. More safe and fewer accidents and insurance will be less required. Duh. I mean, of course, that I think in the next 20, 30 years, car insurance in developed countries will not even exist because everything's so autonomous. I just don't think it'll be there. I just don't think these big companies that we know of car insurances, most of them will go bankrupt unless they change massively. And what is the change that he's talking about? What is this change that they have to change to? He's talking about, Ajit here is talking about moving from auto insurance to insuring product errors and omission in the construction of autos. But still, if let's say Tesla, let's not say 99% of the robotaxi market. Let's say 50% of the robotaxi market because they're the only one that can scale. I don't know anybody else who can scale robotaxis like how Tesla can. But let's say 50%. Tesla already has insurance to take care of their own fleet. Imagine they're going to have eventually tens and millions of robotaxis worldwide on the road. The amount of cash flow that they're going to generate is going to be mind-boggling. Who says that they can't already provide insurance or do product liability to themselves? Unless it's a rule. Again, unless it becomes a rule and law that you can't do that, sure. But the amount of money that Tesla's going to generate in profit just from robotaxis alone, I mean, you guys already seen the numbers. I've already made a video about this. You guys can check here. It can make trillions. If it's in the 50, 60 million robotaxis worldwide, if we're talking about 100 million taxis here worldwide by end of 2040, maybe even sooner, we're talking about trillions in revenue and profits. That's enough profit to not only insure the whole entire fleet, but probably insure every single human being on the planet a few times over. You know what I'm trying to say? So why do we need these other insurance companies to do it? Again, unless it becomes a rule and law. I don't know. But I think the cash flow that Tesla's going to generate just from the robotaxis alone can pay off the product liability themselves multiple times over and over again. Meaning that they don't need to have these auto insurance or these insurance companies to do it for them. Hence, them going bankrupt. I just don't see it any other way. Again, unless I'm maybe missing something, please comment down below. Maybe I might be missing something. If it's by law. If it's by law, well then, I don't know how you can insure 100 million robotaxis worldwide. Or at least, in the US, let's say a couple million few million robotaxis. 5, 10 million robotaxis. That's a lot. That is a lot. Anyways, that's just my thought there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, I may be missing something here. I don't know, but I am pretty confident that these insurance companies, they're not going to be around when robotaxis launch like the way they're going to do. Sheesh. Now, last year, Warren Buffett said something very similar to this, pretty much saying RIP insurance companies if Tesla does this. And that was more of an indirect answer than what it is now. Take a listen.
As a Berkshire and Tesla shareholder, I would like to hear your thoughts on the potential financial effects to Geico, assuming Elon Musk delivers on his fully autonomous driving goal. On Tesla's most recent earnings call, Elon said, if you've got at scale a statistically significant amount of data that shows conclusively that the autonomous car has, let's say, half the accident rate of a human-driven car, I think that's difficult to ignore. Assuming Elon succeeds in reducing accidents by 50% versus human drivers, wouldn't auto insurance rates fall to reflect the reduced underwriting risk, thereby adversely impacting Geico's revenues and float and perhaps margins too?
Well, let's just take the extreme example. Let's say there are only going to be 3 accidents in the United States next year for some crazy reason that anything that reduces accidents is going to reduce costs, but that's been harder to do than people have done before. But obviously, if it really happens, the figures will show it, and our data will show it, and the prices will come down. There have been a lot of people talk about doing that in the past. I mean, General Motors used to be very big in the insurance business, and when Uber first started, they used some firm, which now is, I think Ajit will confirm, they're close to bankruptcy now, aren't they, because of taking things on at the wrong prices?
He says that anything that reduces accidents will reduce costs. If that happens, prices will come down and margins will shrink. Well, margins won't just shrink, they'll go to negative and they'll start losing money, and it's just not worth it for them to do that. He brought up an example, but not a really good example. He brought up an example of Uber and GM, how they were doing insurance with each other, but you can't, Uber has human driving. This is autonomous driving at mass scale. It's never been done before. So you can't really take that data and apply it to what Tesla's going to do starting June. It's just not going to happen. Anyways, I think that there's a lot of insurance companies that will be disrupted, and they're not ready for it. They're just not ready for it. They know it too. Even Warren Buffett said that the world is changing. Business models are changing. If they don't change, it's not interesting. And I agree with him. And he's the GOAT. When it comes to investing, Warren Buffett is the GOAT. Although right now he's a pure value investor, he is the GOAT. And he just said he is done being the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. I mean, man, he's been the longest CEO ever in this. My respects to him. I love Warren Buffett. I really do. And if I did invest in his companies, I probably would have been a lot more. I mean, I'm doing very well with Tesla, but I would have been doing a little bit better with Berkshire Hathaway if I started 20 years ago when Tesla wasn't even around. But nonetheless, my respects off to him. But I think they both know Warren and this Ajit guy that, man, if we can't figure out a new way to make insurance, we are I really think so. Because again, product liability, Tesla can do it themselves. If they're going to be generating trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon of money and cash flow, why do they need to get it from somebody else? Especially if those insurance companies can't handle the amount of robotaxi that's about to come out. If 99% or even 50% of all robotaxi, if the whole entire robotaxi market is Teslas. That's all I'm going to say here. Tesla investors, comment down below. I want to know your thoughts, but get ready. But there's a warning that I want you guys to know. Check out this video right here because it's a sheesh moment. Subscribe, guys. Become a channel moment, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See ya.